Good morning. Welcome to this advanced level hip opener yoga flow. I'm glad you made it to your mat today. And this is going to be an advanced flow. So if you're just a beginner, I recommend going to some of the beginner or intermediate level flows and then come back to this one. So dive right in. Inhale as you raise your arms up. Exhale as you bend forward. Inhale as you look halfway left. Exhale, jump or step back, going into chaturanga. Inhaling into upward facing dog, and then exhaling into downward facing dog. We'll stay here for a few breaths, pushing the ground with the hands and our feet, maintaining that length in the spine. And since it's your first downward facing dog, feel free to move your legs. You can keep a slight bend in your knees. And when you are ready, look forward, jump or step forward. Inhale into halfway lift. Exhale into forward bend. And inhale as you come all the way up, followed by Tadasana. That was Surya Namaskar A. We are going to repeat it another time. So go follow it at your own breath, at your own pace. Inhaling as you raise your arms up. Exhaling as you forward fold. Inhaling into halfway lift. Exhaling as you jump step back, going into chaturanga. Inhaling into upward facing dog. And then exhaling into downward facing dog. Here, try to keep your breath as long as you can. Long deep inhales and long deep exhales all throughout your nose. And when you are ready, look forward, jump a step forward, inhaling into halfway lift, exhaling into forward fold, and then inhale all the way up. And then Tadasana. Let's go into Surya Namaskar B. Inhaling into chair pose, exhaling into forward bend, inhaling into halfway lift, exhaling as you jump and step back into chaturanga, inhaling into upward facing dog, exhaling into downward facing dog. Now this time, inhale as you lift your right leg up and bring it in between your arms, and then go into warrior one. From here, bring your hands down and do your vinyasa flow. Chaturanga, upward dog, downward dog. Let's repeat it on the left side. So inhaling as you lift your left leg up and bring it between your arms, and doing a warrior one on the left side. Bringing your hands down and doing your vinyasa flow. Make sure to follow along at your own breath. Stay in downward facing dog for a few breaths. Trying to find that length in the spine. Extending your legs. Trying to touch the full feet to the ground. And then look forward, jump or step forward, inhaling into halfway lift, exhaling into forward fold, and then inhale as you come into chair pose, and then in Tadasana. we are going to do another round of sun salutation B. So follow along at your own breath with your own pace. Make sure your breath and movements happen in parallel with each other. And bring some attention to the form of the movements you are doing, making sure the critical points like your knee is stacked on top of your heels, or you're maintaining that length in your spine. You can do a little handstand if you want to when you jump forward. And then once you're done, meet me in Tadasana. And from here, we're going to lift our right leg up and bend the right foot to rest on the inner left thigh near the groin. And gently push the right knee back to open the right hip. And inhale as you bring your right hand up and finding that length. Turn your hand behind your back and try to grab the big toe of the right foot from the opposite direction. And then gradually bend forward. And you can use your left hand for the support from the ground and keep a slight bend in the left knee and stay here for a few breaths. Gently release the spine and slowly come all the way back up while inhaling. And then let's repeat it on the other side, bringing our left foot closer to our right inner thigh near the groin, and then pushing our left knee back a little to open our hips up. And from here, inhale as you lift your left hand up and turn it behind your back to grab the right big toe. And then exhale as you gently bend forward. Try to find that balance here. And then using the right hand for support, bend as much forward as you can, maintaining a slight bend in the knee. Keep breathing here. When you're done, slowly, gently release the pose and come all the way back up in Tadasana. From here, we are going to go into a wide stance. So open your legs wide apart and then do some circular motions around your waist using your spine and your whole body. Then let's turn it around in the opposite direction. Just bringing that hip mobility here. From here, we are going to go into that fighter stance, bending with our knees one at a time and going into a squat on the left foot and then on the right foot. And keep switching between this movement. Keeping that balance here. Try to go a little deeper with the next time you squat in. Then slowly come back up. And now we are going to go into a warrior 2 on the right side. So bringing our right foot in front of our left and keeping our knees on top of the ankle and extending our hands in the opposite direction and maintaining our gaze in the towards the front hand. Go a little deeper if you can and engage both your arms as if someone's pulling you from both sides. And from here we are going to go into a triangle pose of sorts, side angle pose, bringing our right elbow to rest on our right inner thigh, and then extending our left hand forward on top of our head, finding that deep stretch on the left side of the body. And from here, if it's feasible, you can go and get that bind underneath your legs, and then bringing your left foot forward and raising your right foot off the ground. You can go into a bird of paradise. And before moving your right leg up, make sure that you have grounded yourself through the left foot and have that balance. And then keeping your focus on one point, slowly lift yourself up and extend your right leg all the way to the side. And at the same time, keep opening your chest. Keep twisting your left shoulder and your right shoulder in the opposite direction, finding the deep stretch. And slowly come back as you rest your right foot on the ground, and then bringing your left foot back. Gently release the bind, and eventually going into a side angle, and then warrior 2, the same way we got into it. From here, let's do the warrior 2 on the other side with our left foot forward and extending our hands in opposite directions. And we are going to repeat the same flow on this side. Trying to go a little deeper into your warrior 2. And from here, going into that side angle pose, resting your left elbow on your left inner thigh and extending the right hand over the head, finding that deep side stretch, and then going for that bind from in between your legs, and now going for that bird of paradise on the left side. So bring your right foot in, and then once you find that stability with your right foot, slowly raise your left foot off the ground and come all the way up, and then extend your left foot, and then keep finding your chest opener here as well. If you lose your balance and fall out of it, come back right in it. And then gently bring your left foot to the ground and release the bind. And inhale as you slowly come back all the way up in a standing position. From here, inhale as you bring your hands up in the air. Exhale as you forward bend. Inhale into halfway lift. Exhale as you jump and step back, doing your vinyasa flow by going into chaturanga, upward facing dog, and then downward facing dog. From here, lift your right leg off the ground and we're going to go into a pigeon pose. So rest your right knee right below your right wrist and then extend your right foot towards the left side across the body and then go deeper in the pose by going on your forearms and then eventually resting your head on the ground for a deep stretch on your hips. You can also use a block or a blanket to keep it underneath your hips here. It feels more relaxing that way, but otherwise stay here for as long as you need to and just let the gravity do the rest. Once you are done, meet me back in a downward facing dog and we are going to repeat it on the other side by bringing our left knee right below the left wrist and extending the left foot to the right side across the body and then going forward onto your forearms and then eventually resting your head. Pigeon pose on the left side. Try to bring your attention to your breath here. Observe your breath. Don't change the behavior of your breath, just observe. And from here, gently come back and meet me in a downward facing dog. And jump a step forward and then inhale as you come all the way up and meet me in Tadasana. And then again inhaling your hands up in the air, exhaling into forward fold. And from here, we are going to try a pose called flying pigeon. So basically it's the same thing, but but now we are trying to rest the foot on our elbows here. So yeah, bending your right knee in and bending it across the body, resting it on your forearms, lift your left leg off the ground. This is personally a hard pose for me because I have less hip mobility, but it's a great one to unlock your hips. So do as much as you can. Um, Maybe you only bend like halfway, or you just want to get into the habit of seeing how it feels like going into this pose, and maybe don't lift the right foot off the ground. Whatever feel convenient to you. Take your time here to observe or to find your comfort zone here in this pose. And when you're done, meet me in a child's pose. And from here, we are going to go into a seated position, and we are begin with the fire log pose. So basically, sitting in an cross-leg position, bringing our right ankle on top of the left knee and stacking it right on top. this is a good hip opener again. With this, it's focusing on your right hip. You can keep your arms on your legs and gently push it down for a deeper hip opener, or you can just rest your arms in your lap, whatever feels more comfortable to you. Or maybe push the boundaries of your comfort and see and test your body limits. Whatever are you in the mood for today? And let's move it on the other side, resting the left ankle on top of the right knee and staying here for a few breaths. Maintain that length in your spine. Sit tall and straight, chest forward, shoulders back. Inhale deeply and then exhale slowly. Once done, let's change the alignment of our feet and sit in cross-leg position, but this time our knees are stacked on top of each other. And then raise your right hand up in the air and bend from the elbow, and then grab the left hand from behind. So the legs here are opening as an hip opener, and then with our elbows bent in towards the back, this is a very good shoulder opener as well. Keep breathing, push through the pain, and then gently release the bind. And then we are going to change the position of our legs, this time going the left knee underneath the right knee, or the other way around if we did it the other way before. And then also changing our hand positions, so instead of the right elbow and the left elbow will go from the top, and then the right elbow, right arm will go from the bottom. Keeping that bind here. If you can't find that bind, you can't reach your hands behind your back, just grab onto your t-shirt or something, or if you have like a rope or a hand towel, just use that to bridge the gap between your hands. Once you're done, you can gently release the bind and then remove your legs from the stack position, and then move it into a wide stance position, stretching both the legs in a 45-degree angle on the ground. And from here, inhale as you lift yourself up, and then exhale as you bend forward from your lower back. You should feel slight pinching sensation in your inner thighs and inner hips. And you can rest your hand on the ground, or you can use your ground to actually pull yourself forward and go deeper into that forward bend. In my case, I have grass, so I was holding onto the grass and pulling myself forward. And work on your exhales here. Yeah, with every exhale, try to go a little deeper. And once you're done, slowly bring back your legs, and then let's go into a a lying position on our back, and then bring our legs in a butterfly position. So basically the sole of the feet together, and then the knees are bent sideways, and just let the gravity do the rest and open up your hips. This is a position you can pretty much do anywhere and anyhow. Like if you are resting for a little bit, or right before going to bed, or right after waking up, you can start your day with these hip openers. And for an added stretch, you can rest your arms on your legs to increase that gravitational force, or you can just keep one hand on the heart, another one on your belly, whichever feels nicer to you. Keep breathing, finding that meditative state of yours. Slowly bring back your legs in, and let's lift them off the ground and hold them from the outside to go into a happy baby pose. You can rock from side to side or turn your legs in and out and pull them in towards your body, whatever feels nicer here. It's good to release any tension from your back. So, yeah, whatever type of rocking you want to do, maybe front and back or sideways, whichever feels nicer. And then once you're done, gently release your legs to rest them on the ground and go into your final resting position, which is Savasana. Your hands and legs spread wide, eyes closed, observing your body, observing your breath, and just connecting with your inner self. Thank you for showing up and following along this yoga flow. I hope to see you in the next flow. And until then, namaste.